Hi everybody, next up is a podcast I done with Joe, who is from up in Scotland, and he is the grandfather of Alicia McPhail, who was raped and murdered by Aon Campbell. Now Joe got in touch and wanted a few questions answered about what will be happening to him inside of prison. So me and Joe done a live together on TikTok, but I am uploading it on here so everybody else can see and hear the questions that Joe wanted answered. Hope you all enjoy it, people.
You hear me okay?
Are you showing your face or not on this one because I can't see you?
No. I'll keep my identity closed for now, Ricky. All the family.
No worries there.
Yeah, all the family on Alicia's mother's side. When we do these type of things, we stay anonymous, mate, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you, Ricky. I want to thank you for that video that you done regarding Aon Campbell and the fact that he's now going to be protected round the clock 24/7 by 3 guards, prison guards. I can't get my head around it, mate, that for somebody who's classed as a VIP in prison, you will know above all, more than anybody, what that gives this monster.
Yeah.
And why would he be deemed? I understand why he's been deemed as a VIP.
Well, it's not what it is. He's deemed as they're called a VP, which stands for vulnerable prisoner, and those are sex offenders and nonces. So it's not, he hasn't got VIP status, he's got VP status, which means he's a bacon classed as a nonce. So he is vulnerable to attack from the other prisoners, and he has been beaten on a few occasions.
Yeah, but do other VP prisoners, these other predators, pedos, whatever you want to call them, monsters, do they all get the same privilege as what Aon Campbell was getting?
I think what it is, obviously, they're all housed on the same wing because they're all going to become under attack from the other inmates. So they keep them all together to sort of protect them, and they've got like the classed as VPs, vulnerable, but obviously they're anything but vulnerable for what they've done on the outside.
How much would this cost the taxpayer, Ricky?
Oh, it costs an absolute fortune. I'm sure it's round about something like 50,000 a year. It might even be upwards for about 100,000 for someone like that.
So 50,000 a year, and he's got another 18, 19 years left on his sentence before he's up for parole.
Well, the only thing for someone like yourself, who's obviously has become a victim of him and obviously suffered because of what happened to Alicia, the only good thing you can take from it is knowing that he's always going to be watching his back and he will be severely attacked at some point throughout his sentence. How do you feel about that?
Well, see, one of the things when all this happened, Ricky, we actually get phone calls, believe it or not, from prisoners in every single prison in Scotland, because they knew obviously he was guilty. They knew he was going to be found guilty. They knew because of his age as well, because he was 17 when he was tried in Scotland, 16 when he committed the crime.
Yeah.
But they knew eventually he'd go to a youth offenders institution until he was 21, 22. And then he would be moved into the big boys jail.
Yeah.
So, but this person has tried to use every conceivable way of trying to avoid being in a man's prison, because he knows he's a marked man. He knows that he's got to watch his back 24/7.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think he's only been attacked once or twice since he was in the youth offenders institution, that doesn't give us any closure, because at the end of the day, like we were told when a few of the prisoners actually contacted the family, what do you want to happen to him when he comes here, or if he comes here? And actually Georgina says, don't touch him, leave him alone. We don't want anybody attacking him, because then he will be given special privileges where he will be securely looked after all the time. Yeah. We want him to be out and about where he knows that at any moment something can happen, but nothing to happen. And a few prisoners have not listened to that. They've took it upon themselves to get involved when they shouldn't have, and that's what's given them this protective custody, where he's not feeling that effect because he doesn't need to go out his cell. He can stay in his cell 24 hours a day if he wants. So for us now, when he goes into the big man's jail, it's like he's going to be protected 24/7, which is pointless, because it's like, for us as a family, Ricky, in order for us to move on, we have to live with this sentence more than he actually does. Yeah. Because he's in there, he's protected, he's going to be protected. Glen Oakle is, it's a very, very serious prison. But for us, that doesn't make any difference to us where he goes or where he's put. For us as a family to move on, we need to know that the justice system is on our side and not his. And right now, we feel as though that just isn't the case. And no doubt at the time when it happened, Ricky, we were in contact with Denise Bulger. I don't know if you know. Yeah. And Denise is such a lovely, lovely lady, amazing lady. And she had told Georgina, you're living the life sentence. He is not. Those two monsters that done it with Jamie are not living a life sentence, because the justice system in the UK is an absolute joke. And as long as we are tied as a country under the human rights and the Convention of Human Rights, prisoners are no longer prisoners, if that makes sense, Ricky, because they're given 3 meals a day, get their own TVs, they've got their PlayStations. I mean, it's a holiday camp. And I wanted to know, like, from you, Ricky, is it really like that, or is it?
Well, I've done videos on this previously. Say when you get these idiots that come on and say, oh, prison's a holiday camp, and I turn around and say, these idiots that are saying prison's a holiday camp are the ones that are in and out within 2 or 3 months, where they haven't even had time to settle into a prison. But prison is definitely not a holiday camp, especially when you get to the high security prisons or the ones that are for long termers, because you're always watching your back. I mean, you can't get on with your time, but people like them are totally different, where they're always watching the backs, because even though they're on the VP wings and they're protected, it's normally the VPs that attack the other VPs, like beast on beast.
Yeah.
Down in Franklin prison, some nonce got disemboweled of some other lads because he was in for fiddling with kids, and these other 2 lads were in for killing old people, and they didn't look at themselves as bad as him, so they're the ones that acted out this justice. And most of the murders that I've covered on my channel that have happened in prisons, it's actually happened on the VP wings. Because obviously them type of people are absolute predators, and anywhere they can see a weakness, they will act out their own sick fantasies. Well, prison's definitely not a holiday camp. You're stuck in there by yourself, stuck with your own thoughts, and someone like Aon Campbell will not have any friends, so he will be suffering in there in his own little mind.
So what's your views then, Ricky, on rehabilitation? Do you think it works? Do you think it works for people who have unalived people, who are predators, who are P3DOs? Do you think, I mean, why should...
This is where it gets controversial, because I've been to prison myself, and obviously I've changed my mindset in prison, and I rehabilitated myself. The prison didn't matter what they tried to do, courses or anything like that. But people like Aon Campbell and nonces I don't think they can be rehabilitated, because what you would class as a normal offender, someone that goes out and commits what's classed as a normal offence, in my eyes, a sex offender doesn't think like a normal criminal. They're thinking with, obviously, their parts.
Yes.
They think different to a normal person. They're offending. Their preference is kids, like a man's preference, straight man's preference, like they find women attractive, where these find kids attractive. So how can you rehabilitate someone that fancies kids? It's just, in my eyes, you can't rehabilitate sex offenders.
So do you think then, obviously with the whole overcrowding scenario that's going on in the UK, where prisoners are getting released early, I mean, my own personal view, Rick, I don't know if you agree on that, but I think prisons should be solely just for P3DOs and people who unalive people. See all the other people, and I'm not saying, obviously, they've obviously served, they've done a crime, they've been caught, they've been found guilty, they're then placed in jail. But I think the reason why we have that overcrowding issue is because there's a lot of people in jail who shouldn't actually be in jail.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on mental health, or like they suffer from a medical, where it's depression, with a medically prescribed treatment and that kind of aspect. And I don't think these people should be in jail. So how do we solve this when it comes to the overpopulating? Because as it stands right now, there is people who have, I believe you were on an IPP, Ricky.
I'm actually just getting off it last week. It's just been terminated last week. I've been on that sentence for 19 years.
So again, Ricky, how does that then work? So if you want to get into what happened, obviously, and why you were sentenced, it's entirely up to yourself, my friend. If you don't want to, totally respect that.
I've spoke about it on my YouTube channel. I've done loads of podcasts speaking about it. My offence, I was 20-year-old. I was brought up in a rough area. My dad had served a lot of time in prison. I was brought up around people that glamorised it. So from a young age, in my mindset, I actually wanted to go to prison. And I was a violent young man. It was always when I was intoxicated, but it was never any innocent victims. It was always someone who was like-minded, another rival. And the offence that I got my IPP for, some lad had beat my sister up, and I went looking for him. And a week later, he rang my sister up, giving her threats down the phone. So I actually answered the phone, and I was intoxicated on this occasion. And I went to his house, kicked his door in, and I used a machete on him. And that's what I got my IPP for.
Was he unalived, Ricky?
He's what, sorry?
Was he unalived?
Was he what, sorry? I didn't quite out.
Was he unalive? Did you unalive him?
No, I didn't kill him. I just did seriously hurt him with the machete.
Okay.
But again, he was someone that was from the local area. He was on drugs all the time. He was on heroin. And he wasn't, like I've mentioned, it wasn't an innocent victim. It was always someone that was in the same sort of lifestyle.
So you've probably done the world a favour then by saying about him. So, I know this is kind of a hard question, Ricky, but did you want to unalive him, or was it just you wanted revenge for what happened to yourself?
I just wanted a revenge. I wanted to obviously hurt him because he's hurt my family. Hurt my sister. So obviously I wanted to act out my own justice. That's what I went and done. And then I got the IPP for it.
So was that 99 years then?
It was 99 years. It was an indefinite sentence.
So what was the minimum sentence?
The minimum term was 4 years that I had to serve before I was up for parole.
4 years. And is there certain criteria that you have to then adhere to, Ricky, like the rehabilitation? Do you need to then be part of something?
You've got to prove that you're changed. You've got to do offender behaviour courses. And I did do a 6-month intense drug and alcohol course. And that actually did change my mindset, because I went on the course with 10 other lads. Some of them were in for murder as well, and we're all sat and spoke about problems that we'd had in the past and opened up. And it did help a lot. Made us understand a lot of things.
So see when you're talking about, like, say, your past, is it, and again, don't take this the wrong way, Ricky, please, because I'm trying to get into the mindset of Aon Campbell.
Yeah.
Is it about how you were raised, or is it about why you done such a cruel, horrific, barbaric thing to another person? Is it a mixture of both? Is it you working with these counsellors and therapists to understand what your crime was? Is it for you to understand that it was wrong? Is it for you to understand that when you do get released, if you're fortunate to get released, that you can change somebody's mindset? Because obviously he was a 16-year-old boy when he committed this crime. He came from a good family, everything was fine, went to a good school, lived on a beautiful island in Scotland, but yet he'd always thought about graping somebody at a young age.
Like you see, I think people like him are tuned into totally different. Like someone like him compared to someone like me, I despise people like that. I would actually, back then, I would be attacking people like that in prison. Where someone like him, they don't think the way I did, they wouldn't dare go and attack a grown-up. They're attacking defenseless little kids that can't protect themselves. So they think totally different. There's something wrong inside their heads. So I can't see how you can actually change that.
Our family's biggest fear, Ricky, is when he reaches 40 years old, he's up for parole. And you're going to get parole board members deciding on whether or not he's released back into society.
Yeah.
And again, it's just like the Jamie Bulger thing with Venables and Thompson, where Venables is always out and then gets put back in again because people find, or police find, that he's been searching and looking at child pornography and all that kind of stuff. So do you think, like the Aon Campbell, when he reaches 40, there's a possibility that
Sorry, that was someone trying to ring.
No, that's cool, mate, it's cool. So do you think that Aon Campbell, when he gets to 40 years old, he will get out on parole?
I don't think he will, but you don't know how these parole people work as well, because it seems to me, especially the ones that were serving IPP, they seem to release them type of offenders. I'm not saying like the likes of Aon Campbell, the murderer, but the ones that have done things with kids where they haven't killed them, or they seem to release them quicker than what they do someone like myself who was in for violence or whatever, because again, they're total different type of prisoners. They're going into prison and they're not getting into trouble in prison because they're not criminally minded. They're sick-minded because of what they're doing, but they're not criminally minded as such. So they're all grassing on each other, up the screws' arses and everything. So they seem to get out quicker than what normal their location lads do.
So Ricky, were you actually in prison? Were you actually, like, did you actually witness other prisoners that were VPs that were protected 24/7? Did you actually get to witness that and see how it works?
No, because obviously they're kept on a different part of the wing and their prison compared to everybody else. So they have got their own wings and they just mix with their own type.
Right. So, in fear of them then being attacked, it's only through them being attacked by other prisoners who are also...
What actually happens is you see some lads who are up on the main location wings, if they're getting into trouble with lads on the wings here, they've ran up drug debts, but they're actually in for a normal location crime, and they have committed, they owe some of the drug dealers on the wings money, and they've been beat up or they've been slashed, then they actually get put down with the VPs, and it's normally them type of lads that attack the VPs.
Right. Well, I appreciate it. That's kind of gave me a wee bit more insight into what's going to happen till when he gets put in.
Won't be thinking he's sitting in there living a life of luxury you can't take solace in the fact that he is sitting in there and he will be tormented. He's probably on medication to help him cope with the prison and cope with the fact that he could be attacked at any point.
Oh, for peace of mind, Ricky, I'd rather he was in a 12-feet hole, mate, and stuck at the bottom of a 12-feet hole. That's what I would like. Not in a prison cell where he's being protected, where he's getting 3 meals a day. He's got his Xbox and that.
Because I have done podcasts with lads before who's done prison in Scotland, and I can quite imagine that he will get it at some point throughout his sentence of someone.
Yeah. Listen, I know you said you're only going to be here at 11 o'clock, Rick, and I don't want to hold you back on the rest of your day, so I appreciate you bringing me up, my friend, and I would love...
If you ever want to come on again and speak about any issues about prison or talk about anything to get a bit more of an insight, I can speak to you anytime.
Oh, I respect that. I really do appreciate it, Ricky.
I will keep Alicia's memory alive on my YouTube channel and do more videos and let people know about it, because a lot of people down here, when I was researching, the reason I came across it was to reach a wider audience on my YouTube channel. I was looking into prisoners that I hated in Scotland, over in Ireland, and I come across Alicia's case, and I decided to do a video on it, and it got massive views. And it is not broadcasting him, it's not giving him limelight, it's actually talking about poor Alicia and obviously what yous have went through.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, you always remember the perpetrator, but that's why I'm on TikTok, and I like to keep her memory alive. I like to do some lives on the awareness, especially with the justice system, Ricky. Families, I don't think families, it's just, it feels as though every day or every week there's something new that we have to contend with, and there's a lot of, do you know what I mean, there's a lot of scope for him using and abusing the system, and nobody seems to do anything about it. And I think there's got to come a time where, I mean, even with the whole parole board here, I believe that the family should be sitting on that and deciding, not left to complete strangers to decide.
Well, I think the family do get a lot of input on the parole here, and they can put statements in. I think they can. I don't think they can request to be actually on the parole, but the parole board do listen to a lot of what the victims have to say.
Yeah. So how many parole board meetings did you have then, Ricky, if you don't mind me asking?
I had 2 in prison, and I've had a few out here waiting to try and get my licence terminated.
Right.
But the 2 that I had in prison, they are very intense. When you're sitting there, you've got like, I'm not sure if it's the same up in Scotland, but down here in England, you've got 3 parole members. One of them is actually a judge, and then you've got your solicitor and your probation officer, and you've got to sit in front of them all, and obviously you're fighting for your freedom. You've got to get it. You get interrogated quite a bit. It's quite intimidating.
Yeah. Well, as I said, my friend, I appreciate you bringing me up here, I really do. And I'll definitely come back in again, Ricky. If I've got any questions, I'll message you, or I'll come into one of your lives. But
yeah,
it's great that you've turned your life around, Ricky, and it's great that you're doing well. And I've seen the video of you and your family the other day there.
Yeah.
And good on you, my friend. Good on you.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. It means a lot.
Take care, Ricky. All the best, mate.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
And you, man.
Right, people, that was the live wrapped up there. I'm going to have to get off now because I'm busy for the rest of the day. Like I say, I've had a bit of spare time here this morning, so it's been enjoyable speaking to Joe there. Obviously, listen to his side of the story. Someone coming from, obviously, the 2 different sides of it. He's become a victim of someone who committed a horrific crime against his granddaughter. If you want to go and have a look on his channel, I'm sure you would appreciate the followers, and go and have a look. He's got videos of his granddaughter on there. They're quite emotional. I did choke up when I had a look on his channel and I was watching the video. He's put a video together with some photos of little Alicia, And I did actually get a few tears in my eyes when I was watching it. It was very emotional. But I'm going to leave that one there for now, people. I will be doing more lives Monday to Friday daily, so keep an eye out. I've got loads more videos to upload. But if you want to go over onto my YouTube channel, the link is at the top of this page. There's loads of videos on there. Put me longer videos on there. And if there is any requests for videos, let us know in the comments or go onto my YouTube channel and let us know. But I'm wrapping up, people. Take care. Enjoy your day.